This is the zoning board for the village of Tuckahoe. It's Wednesday, April 12th. Stand to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first item on the agenda this evening will be the approval of the minutes of March 8th. Does any board members have any comments or revisions to the minutes?
No?
Nope, I got nothing.
Do you have a motion to approve the minutes of March 8th?
Motion to approve.
Second.
The second item, roll call, I'm sorry.
Present.
In favor. Motion.
Approve.
In favor.
In favor.
In favor.
In favor. Item 2 is 22 Wallace Avenue, area variance for a finished basement. Can the applicant approach?
Is that on?
Erica Gage.
There you go.
Okay, here we go. Erica Gage, 22 Wallace Street.
Has anything changed since the last meeting?
Nothing.
Does a member have a resolution?
I have one.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Sorry. Does anybody from the public want to comment on this application?
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
is there a move to close the public hearing?
Second.
In favor.
In favor.
In favor.
In favor.
In favor. Now, does a member have a resolution in the
I
form
have
of
a
a motion?
I do. The application for area variance is requested by Erica Gage, whose address is 22 Wallace Street, Tuckahoe, New York, Section 29, Block 7, Lot 26, for relief from the following sections of the zoning code 4-3.6 floor area ratio. Secret resolution. Based on this application is submitted, the Zoning Board of Appeals finds and determines that the action taken herein is an unlisted action subject to the requirements of secret and its implementing regulations. This Zoning Board of Appeals is in possession of all information reasonably necessary to make the determination as to the environmental significance of the proposed area variance application, and that the action taken herein shall not have a significant adverse impact on the environment, and it is declared that a negative declaration is hereby adopted with regard to this action. And further, applicant resides at 22 Wallace Street in Tuckahoe. Applicant is seeking to add a full bathroom and laundry area to the basement of said premises. The addition of the full bathroom and laundry area will increase the floor area ratio from the allowed 0.5 to 0.64, thus the necessity for this application. We note that the applicant has used the premises as a short-term rental, and there is a concern that the basement will be used as living accommodations. Several members have performed a site visit to the premise, and due to the layout of the basement, it is unlikely to be used other than the bathroom, laundry room, and storage. The proposed addition of the bathroom and laundry area will have no impact to the surrounding area, but will have a substantial benefit for the applicant due to her family size and currently only having one bathroom for her first floor unit. We therefore find that the applicant, through her submission, several work sessions, and public hearings, that she has satisfied the requirements of the 5-prong test. Therefore, recommendation is for the area variances to be granted, as the benefit to the applicant of the area variances outweigh the detriment to health, safety, and the welfare of the neighborhood. As a condition to this approval, it is that if at any point it is determined by either the building department or fire department that the basement is being used other than as a bathroom, storage, and a laundry room, then this application is hereby revoked. The granting of the variances herein is granted on the condition that work under such variance be commenced and diligently prosecuted within 1 year of the granting thereof, failing which such variances shall become null and void.
Is there a second to the resolution?
Second.
Not in favor.
Not in favor.
In favor.
In favor.
In favor.
Good.
Okay, you're
Good.
approved, so
Mhm.
congratulations.
Congratulations.
Good luck.
Item 3 was 5 Circle Road. That was withdrawn by the applicant in its entirety after the work session today. So we'll move on to item number 4, 104 Yonkers Avenue, a special permit for a new sports and health gym. Can the applicant please approach and state your name and address?
Danny Tachi, 104 Yonkers Avenue.
Could you just explain to us what it is that you are looking for the board to help you with?
Health and fitness club, mostly just one-on-one training.
Okay, no, hours operation? No?
Not operational.
No, the hours?
The hours.
yeah.
It is 7 to 11, short break, and then 3 to 7.
Weekends?
Weekends, about 9 to 1.
Okay.
And about how many people do you expect to have on the premises at any given time?
4.
And have you obtained parking spaces for your business?
Yes, there's a lot of 18 spots, and there's metered parking in front.
Okay, and to clarify on the lot, has your business specifically purchased?
Yes, it's owned by the landlord. It's 0.1 miles away, about 2 blocks away. It's 105 Lake Avenue.
Understood. And I think you said that your business would have 5 of those
Yes.
dedicated to your business? Okay. Great. And can you confirm what the premise is currently being used at?
Yes, for the past 26 years, it's been the same business. We'll be sharing a foyer, and then it splits into 2. It's a similar business as mine, one-on-one training.
Okay.
Understood.
Any modifications to the premises?
No.
Does anybody have any other questions?
No, I got nothing.
I move to open the public hearing.
Second.
Yeah.
In favor?
In favor?
In favor?
In favor.
In favor. Does any members of the public have any comments? Oh. Okay, so we will keep the public hearing open to the next meeting, and we'll see you then.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Item 5 on the agenda is 1 Henry Street, an area variance for a new one-family home.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, Chair, members of the board. Louis Campano, architect on behalf of the applicant, Rally 111 LLC. Before you this evening is a single-family residence proposed to be constructed on a lot located in the A5 zone. This lot is situated on the westerly side of Henry Street at the intersection with Winter Hill Road. I'm just going to approach the drawings. So, excuse me. This newly created lot is 10,067 square feet and is again situated in the A5 zone. As you can see here, the lot. Yes.
There you go. Okay.
Got it. As you can see here, the lot is irregular in shape, and it is also considered a corner lot. And specific to corner lots, they have 2 front yards. And in this scenario, we have a front yard on Henry Street and also a front yard on Winter Hill with a 35-foot setback. After projecting those setbacks onto the site plan, highlighted here in purple, you can see what those setbacks or how those setbacks create the buildable area on the lot. And the hatched area with the black outline is the proposed dwelling. And the areas highlighted in orange are the areas that exceed that 35-foot setback. Now, because a variance was inevitable, what we wanted to make sure we did here was to have this house conform to the existing characteristics of the neighborhood, and we didn't want to exceed those measurements. So we analyzed all of the front yard setbacks for homes on Henry Street and also homes on Winter Hill Winter Hill Road. So this map here is a map of the surveys of all of these properties stitched together, creating the area that we are analyzing here. This specifically is our lot here, 1 Henry Street. And after calculating the front setbacks to all of the homes, we come up with a front yard, an average front yard setback of 21 foot 2 1/4 inches. And our the variance that we're seeking this evening is a 25-foot variance, 25-foot setback, I apologize, from the front property line, which is located along Winter Hill Road. As the house, because of how the house is situated on the site and the trajectory which Winter Hill takes, the front corner of the front covered porch is the setback that we're seeking at 25 feet. As the house recedes back, that nonconformity decreases. And at the back corner of the house, we're actually at 48, almost 50 feet from the front property line. So I guess the key points to take away here are the irregular shape of the lot, the awkward buildable area that is created once the setbacks are projected onto the lot, and taking into consideration all of the neighboring homes in the immediate vicinity of this property. And that's, if the board has any questions, if anybody field any questions.
Yeah, I got, where's the curb cut gonna be?
The curb cut is going to be located on Henry Street. And the reason for that,
Yeah.
and currently this property is known as 163 Winter Hill Road, and we're going to work with the building department to change that designation to 1 Henry Street to avoid any confusion for visitors, emergency vehicles, delivery services, so that people aren't stopping on Winter Hill, creating traffic backups, and then they're actually turning on to Henry Street in a safe location.
Okay.
You'll get it, well, once we open the public hearing, you'll have a chance.
There's gonna be driveways there too? Is like,
Yes, so the driveway.
Driveway?
Yeah,
Me?
so the driveway, again, located on Henry Street, what we've done here to create a safe condition is we created a turnaround, which is located on the south side of the driveway. And the reason being is so that the residents can turn safely in their driveway and then exit safely onto Henry Street without backing onto
yeah,
the
there you
road.
go.
And the proximity of the curb cut to Winter Hill Road was acceptable to the highway
Highway
department.
department?
Exactly.
Okay.
And just to clarify, if this was not a corner lot, you would not be here seeking our approval.
If this was not a corner lot, we would be confined to a 20-foot setback,
Okay.
where this we're proposing, or asking for a 25-foot setback. Thank you.
Okay.
Have you heard anything from neighbors about the project?
This project specifically, we have not had any discussion with neighbors in terms of opposition or concerns, other than possibly the subdivision that occurred a year ago. That was the last time we had any interaction with neighbors.
Do any of the
Yeah.
board members have any other questions?
No?
Make a motion to open the public hearing.
Second.
Just 1 minute.
In favor?
In favor?
In favor.
In favor.
In favor. The public hearing is now open. Do any members of the public have any comments? If so, please step forward, state your name and your address.
Hi, my name is Andrea Murray. I'm at 2 Henry Street. It's nice to meet you. I tried sending you a note
Here-
through your contractors or through the people
Why don't you just
there.
speak to us?
Okay.
That would be helpful. just
Okay,
'cause
sure.
the-
So I live right next door. we bought the house about 15 years ago, and we were told that the property next to us was an unbuildable lot, which was attractive to us because it was a very nice looking piece of property. So now we're looking at this proposal that is not respecting the zoning regulations that are in place with the subdivision. We've been looking, there's not really all that good faith that what is going to be built is going to be nice, considering that the other house next door has been sitting there like a haunted house for a very long time, with rodents and cats and, you know, open windows that are just like begging to be vandalized. And this is the house that's right next to our house. So we actually, we are interested in moving, and we are nervous about putting our house on the market. We waited because who would want to buy something next to a rundown building with no windows and completely abandoned? So I'm asking that we respect the zoning regulations that, you know, the town has implemented to make sure that this town still remains nice. There's a flower budget to make sure that the streets look nice, yet the house that was to the, you know, on 22, you know, that was an abandoned house for a long time in our neighborhood, and we're paying taxes that are very expensive and not getting the value for that when we look at what's there. So additionally, I'm curious to see how far that curb cut will go next to our house. Is it going to be like, you know, asphalt next to asphalt? That's a concern. I think that would look very bad and decrease the value of our house. And why can't the laws just be respected?
So just to be clear, the curb cut is actually not something that is before us. We're here for the very limited purpose of not even enforcing, let's say, the time frame it takes someone to build under a building permit or anything of that nature would be under the purview of the buildings department. So our limited jurisdiction is really to, they're asking to, as you can see in the areas marked in orange, extend a bit closer to the curb. And as was explained, the reason for it is because they have two front yards. Because it's a corner lot, it is seen as two front yards. So it is a little bit more restrictive in that way, as opposed to a house that has a front yard and a side yard. Then my understanding is we wouldn't even be here. So just so you understand the limited scope of what we are going to be voting on, not today, but in a future meeting. So I hear your concerns about, you know, abandoned houses, and I don't think anybody on this board would think that that's a good thing. But, you know, that's, we can't.
It goes into the aesthetics of the neighborhood. And so I'm also wondering how much will this added space, that the house in general, be cutting into the light that is going on our house. I'm an avid gardener. I enjoy light in my home. And, you know, how much is this going to be blocking the eastern light that comes into our house?
Understood. I think the subdivision of the property and the permission to build on that lot was previously permitted and agreed upon. So I think if it's a concern with the 3 feet or so related to the setback impacting the light, it's certainly something we can consider. But if it's broader than that, as Member Brown said, it's beyond our purview.
And so why wouldn't one just follow the law in how they construct the house?
I think the challenge that was presented to us is, by nature of being on a corner lot, they're faced with a greater setback that they have to adhere to than a house that's like on the actual street. So your house doesn't have 2 front-facing setbacks it would need to adhere to, but because this property is on the corner lot, it's held to that additional standard, which I think in prior board meetings we've seen similar challenges raised by nature of that more restrictive requirement.
That's why we're here, is that sometimes, you have codes, because you want to make sure things are maintained with certain setbacks and everyone's not piled on to one another, but there are exceptions, and you look at it, everything as a case-by-case basis, so you don't, every time we look at something, we're not approaching it the same way.
Okay. So in this case, I'm appealing to the town to respect the regulations and not just try to build the biggest house possible in the size that, that the space does not allow.
Understood. Understood. Thank you for your comments.
Yep.
Did you want to respond at all, or?
Okay, so just take a minute to address some of the comments. The first is the impact that the variance, if approved, what that impact would be on gardening and light filtering to the yard, which is actually located to the south of this property. So, during the summer months and the warmer months, the sun typically, obviously rises in the east, sets in the west, but is generally overhead. And then in the colder months, it falls down towards the horizon, which would be towards the southern side. So this house wouldn't cast a shadow on the property next door. That would be indirect sunlight, which wouldn't pose an issue here. One of the other comments was the size of the house. Now, the zoning laws changed in 1999 for certain purposes or certain reasons, but this property, being 10,067 square feet, can actually support a house with a floor area of 4,530 square feet, whereas in this case we're proposing 3,893 square feet, which is also inclusive of the garage. And in terms of building coverage, maximum building coverage, this lot can support a house of 3,523 square feet in footprint, and we are proposing a house of 2,065 square feet. So substantial. There's substantial room to actually make this house larger than it is as proposed. Now, in terms of the building height, we're allowed 2.5 stories. We're building 2.5 stories, but the maximum building height is 35 feet, and that's measured from the midpoint of the eave to the ridge. And our maximum roof height here, as proposed, is 24'8". So we're substantially lower than that. So we're not maximizing the property by any means, but we do have to contend with this awkward condition, which is burdening the site.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Explain from the curb cut, how far that is from the other property line. I know that was a piece of it.
Here, yeah, so just by looking at this, we're 45 feet from the center line of our curb cut to Winter Hill Road, and this looks to be just about the same, if not just a little bit less. So from center line of our curb cut to their curb cut, which is located here, I would probably have to say around 38 feet. Yeah. Typical property in this location is 50 feet wide, so almost the width of
All right.
property.
Mm.
What he really wants to just clarify is where the turnaround is, where the end of turnaround per property line.
Here, the turnaround. I got you.
I brought that up.
Right. So, so the turnaround here, this being 20 feet, we can probably say that this turnaround extends to approximately 13 feet to the property line. And then the neighbor at 2 Henry Street, their home sits at 9 feet from the property line.
Mm.
But, okay, so
Mm.
you answered 3
Yeah,
questions.
yeah.
So the board was.
Yeah, it's- yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Understood.
Approximately 13 feet in this man's plus. She has a setback from her house to her property line of another 9, so it's her house.
22 feet.
22 feet. Yeah. Okay.
The typical buffer that
Yeah.
you would see on a driveway to a property line is roughly 3 feet.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does any other,
Right.
oh, okay.
The reason for the turnaround as well was it was a recommendation because this way the new homeowner.
Yeah. Yeah, use the mic.
Sorry. So the recommendation of Frank DeMarco and a couple other members of the village was that we don't want to see anybody backing out of the home. So that's why they created that turnaround, so that person can back that car into that, if you say, cul-de-sac kind of and turn out, as opposed to backing onto a Henry.
So I didn't understand how much grass is there between the end of between the paved area in number 1 and mine. But you were talking from the center of the driveway to the center of the driveway. What's the amount of grass that's between the two driveways?
So the amount of grass minus the turnaround is approximately 22 feet from the curb of the driveway to the property line.
From the curb where it is paved, can I
Yeah,
I
come on
think
up.
she wants us to
And
know
then-
from the, from
And then
that
from the
part.
turnaround to here is approximately,
here, how much space is
I would say this is approximately 13 feet, 13, 14 feet. And that's dictated by the more restrictive side yard setback of 20 feet as opposed to 9 feet.
Okay.
Are there any other comments or questions from the public? No? Okay, so we're gonna leave the public, oh, excuse me, I haven't opened the public.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
leave it. Leave it until next month.
So we'll leave it open until next month, and take more comments. You're welcome to come next month to the meeting. And that's it. So I think that was our last, item on the agenda. Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Good evening.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to close the meeting, or
Yeah. Yeah.
motion to
Second.
adjourn, sorry?
Second.
Do we need a motion?
Yeah.
No, that's it? All right,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Motion to adjourn, I think.
Good night, Tuckahoe.